Alexandra Eala's dream run at the WTA 1000 in Miami comes to an end. She loses in a tough three-setter to Jessica Pegula in the semifinals. And of course, I was incredibly impressed that Eala was able to make it to the semis, and she beat Ostapenko, Keys, and Swiatek to make it there. The impressive thing to me was that this came out of nowhere. I talked about that in my video where I covered the Swiatek Eala match, how Alexandra was losing to players outside of the top 100, outside of the top 200 prior to coming into the Miami tournament where she got a wild card. So this was unpredictable what she did. This did come out of nowhere. But when you look at Eala's junior results, you see that she's an incredibly talented player. She won the US Open Juniors, was ranked #2 in the world, and she also won 2 junior doubles Grand Slam titles, which is important. So stay tuned until the end of the video because I'm going to talk about what impressed me the most about Eala's game. But in any case, this was an impressive performance getting to the semis. But I did think that Madison Keys played a poor match against Eala. I did think that Iga played possibly the worst match of her career against Eala. Now, this is not to take anything away from Eala's performance in those matches. She played incredibly well, and of course, sometimes it's the level of your opponent that makes you play poorly. So all the respect goes to Eala in those matches. But the fact is that the level from both Keys and especially Swiatek was quite low. However, the level of play in the semifinal match where Eala lost was sky high because Jessica Pegula was playing extremely well and Eala was still very close to winning that match. So for that reason, the tennis that I saw from Eala in the semifinal impressed me the most this entire week. And there are so many nuances to why Eala is such an incredible player. And I'm going to tap into all of them. So first of all, her resilience and fighting spirit is something that is incredible to watch. And she lost the first set after she was up 5-2. And serving at 5-3, she even had set point 40-30 on her serve. Now, she did serve a couple of double faults in that game, and it is obvious that her second serve with a very slow speed is the weakest part of her game. But in that particular game, she hit 2 good double faults. She went after her second serve and missed it around 90 miles an hour. Now, this is a super complex topic, and we're going to talk about this in another video. I briefly mentioned hitting second serves more like your first serve in the Pericard serve analysis video, so we're going to dedicate an entire video on what to do with a second serve. But I categorize those double faults as courageous, and I thought this was a positive sign, the fact that she had the courage to go after her second serve. Now, it didn't work. She did serve 2 doubles. She still had set point of 40-30, which she couldn't convert, but she ended up losing her serve and lost that first set in a tiebreak. Now, in the second set at 1-1, Eala rolls her ankle. She got it taped up. She continued to play, but she found herself down 3-1. And as a huge WTA fan, what happens in most matches with these circumstances that were happening at this stage, Pegula up 7-6, 3-1. Eala had set points in the first set. She rolled her ankle at 1-all, lost her serve. The vast majority of players would have tapped out at this point. Eala didn't tap out. She stayed in this match and was fighting very hard and got the break back, and she ended up winning this second set, which impressed me tremendously. In the third set, the match was very close to around 3-all, and this is where Pegula's experience kicked in, and she toughed this match out and played the most important points of the match better than Eala did, and she ended up winning that third set 6-3. But nevertheless, the level that I saw from Eala in this match was incredible in so many different aspects. So let me talk about her strokes. I do believe that Eala has one of the best, if not the best, returns of serve in the game. She is not scared to take the ball early, to be very aggressive on the return of serve. She has very good reflexes, and she breaks serve with ease. Now, if she had a stronger serve, I think she would be very difficult to beat. But like I said, the second serve is a weakness. But the return of serve is incredibly strong. Now, off the ground, they were showing data and stating that the Eala forehand is very flat, and it is true. But what I saw during this week, and I analyzed her strokes, the forehand is very versatile. So off the ground, Eala is a mix between Leila Fernandez and Petra Kvitova. So she does hit it quite flat. Now the ball is not completely flat, it still has some spin on it, but she does straighten the ball out and hits it extremely deep and hard and can hit a lot of winners that way. But she also knows how to spin the forehand. This is what she does in defensive situations when the ball is not necessarily where she wants it. She can put a tremendous amount of spin on the ball as well. The backhand, however, is mostly flat. Now here come the fascinating things about Eala. She has a phenomenal one-handed backhand slice, and she is possibly the best net player on the WTA Tour. Yes, you heard me right. I'm not a hype man by any means. I'm actually the anti-hype man. But what I saw yesterday at the net from Eala, honestly, I have not seen this from any other WTA player. Now, what happens on the WTA Tour most of the time is that players will take swing volleys, and Eala does that as well. She is incredible at taking the ball out of the air and converting a winner with the swing volley, whether it be the forehand or the backhand. Generally, Eala's forehand versatility on balls that are of different heights is some of the best I've seen on the WTA Tour. So Eala can take the ball very high and bring it down with her forehand, and when it's very low, she can lift it up. So of course, when she takes a forehand swing volley with topspin, she takes it a little bit higher and it brings it down beautifully, and she can go inside out, she can go down the line, she can go cross court. Absolutely phenomenal. But here's the kicker. It's not just the swing volleys that are good. Her regular volleys, like I said, are the best that I've seen on the WTA Tour. Her hands around the net. She can hit volley drop shots. She can go deep with the volley. She is a phenomenal net player. And now it makes sense why she won 2 Grand Slams in doubles in juniors. Eala moves really well. But in tennis, it's not good enough to just move really well. You also have to fight hard and try to get to every ball. And I think that's the advantage of working with Uncle Tony. And I understand that Uncle Tony wasn't her main coach at the Rafael Nadal Tennis Academy, but at the Nadal Academy, I'm sure that being a fighter and not giving up on balls is something that is being trained. And I am seeing that from Eala. She's a big fighter, and she showed that in this match. But one other thing that's so impressive about Alexandra is the fact that after the match point, she sat on the bench, and she could have won this match. This was a big blow. This is not easy to handle as a tennis player. You were so close to winning, and yet you lose. And a lot of players will pack their stuff and leave. I completely understand that. And other players will get very emotional. Some will even cry. But Alexandra, after she lost the match, she was raising her hands in the air and she had a smile on her face. I don't think I've ever seen that on the WTA Tour. So this player is special